A skeptic checks into a historic hotel rumored to be haunted, dismissing the stories as mere superstition. However, as the night unfolds, they are forced to confront the terrifying truth as they come face to face with the restless spirits that inhabit the hotel's halls. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets, Marcus pulled his suitcase behind him, the wheels rattling against the uneven pavement. The grand facade of the historic hotel loomed before him, its imposing presence softened only by the warm glow of lanterns framing the entrance. With a skeptical smirk playing on his lips, Marcus stepped through the ornate double doors, the scent of old wood and polished brass enveloping him. The lobby was a marvel of bygone elegance, with chandeliers casting intricate patterns on the marble floors and plush velvet armchairs beckoning weary travelers to rest their bones. Approaching the front desk, Marcus flashed a charming smile at the receptionist, who regarded him with a knowing glint in her eye. "Welcome to the Grand Oak Hotel," she said with a hint of mystery in her voice. "We hope you enjoy your stay." Marcus chuckled dismissively, waving off her words like pesky flies. "Thank you, but I think I'll manage just fine," he replied, sliding his credit card across the polished surface of the desk. "I'm not one to believe in ghost stories, you know." The receptionist's smile widened ever so slightly as she handed Marcus his key. "Of course, sir. But do let us know if you change your mind. The spirits here have a way of making themselves known to even the most skeptical of guests." Marcus rolled his eyes, tucking the key into his pocket as he made his way to the elevator. "Sure they do," he muttered under his breath, the skepticism dripping from his words like poison. Little did he know, the spirits of the Grand Oak Hotel were already stirring, eager to prove him wrong. With a dismissive shake of his head, Marcus unlocked the door to his room and stepped inside, his footsteps echoing against the hardwood floors. He tossed his suitcase onto the bed, sending a cloud of dust dancing into the air, and surveyed his surroundings with a critical eye. The room was spacious yet cozy, with antique furniture and faded wallpaper lending it an air of faded grandeur. Marcus wrinkled his nose at the peeling paint and threadbare curtains, chalking it up to neglect rather than any otherworldly influence. As he unpacked his belongings, Marcus couldn't help but notice the subtle creaks and groans of the old building settling around him. He rolled his eyes at each ominous sound, dismissing them as nothing more than the natural quirks of an aging structure. With a sigh, Marcus decided to explore the hotel, hoping to distract himself from the nagging feeling of unease that lingered in the back of his mind. He wandered down dimly lit corridors lined with portraits of stern-faced ancestors and ornate tapestries depicting scenes from a bygone era. Despite the grandeur of his surroundings, Marcus remained steadfast in his disbelief, admiring the hotel's ornate architecture and historical charm without giving a second thought to the rumors of hauntings that had plagued its reputation for decades. Little did Marcus know, the spirits of the Grand Oak Hotel were watching his every move, biding their time until they could reveal themselves in all their ghostly glory. But for now, Marcus remained blissfully unaware, scoffing at the notion of anything supernatural lurking in the shadows. As night draped its velvet cloak over the hotel, Marcus settled into bed, the creaks and groans of the old building providing a haunting lullaby. Yet, as he drifted towards sleep, he was jolted awake by a whisper, faint and indistinct, echoing through the darkness. His heart pounding, Marcus sat up in bed, straining to discern the source of the sound. but the hallway outside his door lay silent, bathed in an eerie half-light that seemed to flicker and dance like shadows in the moonlight. Brushing off his unease as a trick of the imagination, Marcus settled back against the pillows, only to shiver as a sudden chill swept through the room, causing goosebumps to prickle along his skin. With a nervous laugh, Marcus pulled the covers tighter around himself, chiding himself for succumbing to superstition. Yet, as he closed his eyes, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes peering out from the darkness. Hours passed in fitful sleep, interrupted by fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures flitting through the room and whispered voices that seemed to echo inside his mind. But each time Marcus stirred, the room lay empty, the whispers fading into the silence like wisps of smoke. By morning, Marcus brushed off the events of the night as nothing more than a bout of insomnia, attributing the strange occurrences to stress or an overactive imagination. Little did he know, the spirits of the Grand Oak Hotel had only just begun to reveal themselves, their presence growing stronger with each passing moment. And soon, Marcus would come face to face with the terrifying truth that lay hidden within the hotel's haunted halls. As the days stretched on, Marcus found himself increasingly unsettled by the inexplicable events unfolding around him. What had begun as mere whispers in the night had escalated into full-blown manifestations of the supernatural, leaving him questioning his own sanity. Objects seemed to move of their own accord, sliding across tables or disappearing altogether, only to reappear in the most unexpected of places. Doors slammed shut with a deafening force, leaving Marcus trembling in their wake, his nerves frayed and his skepticism shattered. But it was the mirrors that unnerved him the most, their reflective surfaces becoming portals to a world beyond his comprehension. In their depths, Marcus caught fleeting glimpses of figures shrouded in shadow, their eyes burning with an otherworldly intensity that sent shivers down his spine. Try as he might to rationalize the inexplicable, Marcus could no longer deny the truth that lay before him. The hotel was haunted, its restless spirits growing more restless with each passing moment, their presence a palpable weight upon his soul. Fear gnawed at Marcus's insides, twisting and coiling like a serpent poised to strike. He could feel the eyes of the unseen watching his every move, their malevolent gaze stripping away his facade of bravado until he was left bare and vulnerable. As the darkness closed in around him, Marcus knew that he could no longer ignore the truth that lay hidden within the hotel's haunted halls. The spirits were real, and they hungered for something far more sinister than mere company. And unless Marcus found a way to appease them, he feared that he would become their next victim. Marcus's nerves were frayed, his mind spinning with the unsettling events that had unfolded since his arrival at the Grand Oak Hotel. Determined to unravel the mystery shrouding the ancient building, he sought out the hotel staff for answers. With furrowed brow and trembling hands, Marcus approached the reception desk, his heart pounding in his chest. "I need to know what's going on here," he demanded, his voice quivering with a mixture of fear and frustration. The receptionist regarded him with a somber expression, her eyes haunted by secrets too terrible to utter aloud. "I'm sorry, sir," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the hushed murmurs of the lobby. "But some things are best left unsaid." Marcus's frustration boiled over, his patience worn thin by the staff's cryptic warnings and evasive responses. Determined to uncover the truth, he retreated to the hotel's archives, poring over ancient documents and faded photographs in search of answers. As he delved deeper into the hotel's history, Marcus's blood ran cold at the tales of tragedy and despair that he unearthed. From untimely deaths to mysterious disappearances, each story seemed to mirror the reported hauntings with chilling accuracy. But it was the journal of a former hotel manager that revealed the darkest secrets of all. In trembling handwriting, the manager recounted a series of rituals performed in the hotel's darkest depths, unleashing a malevolent force that had plagued the building ever since. With a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach, Marcus realized that the spirits haunting the Grand Oak Hotel were more than mere phantoms. They were the remnants of a dark and twisted past, trapped between this world and the next. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Marcus knew that he had to confront the spirits head-on if he ever hoped to escape the hotel's clutches. But little did he know, the true horror had only just begun to reveal itself, lurking in the shadows and waiting to claim its next victim. As the clock struck midnight, Marcus found himself drawn to the hotel's darkened corridors, his heart pounding in his chest as he ventured deeper into the shadows. The air grew thick with anticipation, each step echoing like a drumbeat in the silence of the night. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind sent shivers racing down Marcus's spine, causing him to halt in his tracks. His breath caught in his throat as he felt a presence looming just beyond the edge of his vision, its malevolent energy sending waves of fear crashing over him. With trembling hands, Marcus fumbled for the flashlight tucked into his pocket, its feeble beam casting a weak circle of light in the darkness. And there, in the dim glow, he saw it, a spectral figure hovering just beyond arm's reach, its form twisted and contorted with rage. Frozen in terror, Marcus watched as the spirit drifted closer, its eyes burning with an otherworldly intensity that threatened to consume him whole. Desperate to escape, he turned and fled down the hallway, the sound of his footsteps echoing like thunder in the night. But the spirit pursued him relentlessly, its unearthly wails echoing through the hotel's hallowed halls. With nowhere left to run, Marcus found himself backed into a corner, his breath coming in ragged gasps as the spirit closed in for the kill. In a moment of clarity, Marcus realized the truth of the rumors that had plagued the Grand Oak Hotel for generations. The spirits were real, and they hungered for vengeance against those who had wronged them in life. Summoning every ounce of courage he possessed, Marcus turned to face the spirit head-on, his eyes blazing with defiance. "I don't believe in you," he declared, his voice ringing out like a battle cry in the darkness. "You have no power over me." And in that moment, something miraculous happened. The spirit faltered, its ethereal form flickering like a dying flame before dissipating into the night. With a triumphant smile, Marcus realized that he had conquered his fear and emerged victorious against the forces of darkness. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, Marcus emerged from the depths of the hotel, forever changed by his harrowing encounter with the supernatural. And though the ghosts of the Grand Oak Hotel would continue to haunt its halls for years to come, Marcus knew that he had faced his demons and emerged stronger for it. As the echoes of his encounter with the restless spirit faded into the night, Marcus found himself standing at a crossroads. Should he stay and confront the ghosts that haunted the Grand Oak Hotel, or flee in terror and never look back? His heart still racing from the adrenaline-fueled confrontation, Marcus's mind whirled with conflicting thoughts and emotions. He had spent his entire life scoffing at the idea of the supernatural, dismissing it as mere fantasy. But now, faced with the undeniable reality of the spirits that lurked within the hotel's walls, he was forced to confront his deepest fears. With a heavy heart, Marcus retraced his steps through the dimly lit corridors, his footsteps echoing in the silence of the night. Memories of his journey from skeptic to believer flooded his mind. The whispered warnings of the hotel staff, the cryptic tales of tragedy and despair hidden within its archives, and, most of all, the chilling encounter with the restless spirit that had shattered his disbelief like glass. But amidst the fear and uncertainty, Marcus found a glimmer of determination flickering within him. He had come too far to turn back now, to let his fear dictate his actions. If he were to overcome the ghosts that haunted the Grand Oak Hotel, he would need to face them head-on, armed with nothing but his newfound courage and unwavering resolve. And so, with a steely determination in his eyes, Marcus made his decision. He would stay and confront the ghosts, not just for his own sake, but for all those who had fallen victim to the hotel's dark and twisted past. For he knew that only by confronting the darkness could he hope to banish it from the world once and for all. With a deep breath, Marcus squared his shoulders and stepped forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever horrors awaited him in the haunted halls of the Grand Oak Hotel. And though his journey was far from over, he knew that he would emerge from it a changed man, forever marked by the battles he had fought and the demons he had conquered. With determination burning in his veins, Marcus ventured deeper into the heart of the Grand Oak Hotel, his steps echoing in the empty corridors. Shadows danced around him, whispering secrets of the past, but Marcus pressed on, his resolve unshaken. As he reached the hotel's ancient ballroom, Marcus confronted the spirits that lurked within its shadows, calling out to them with a voice filled with both fear and conviction. "I know you're here," he declared, his words echoing off the ornate walls. "But you cannot haunt this place forever. It's time to let go of your pain and find peace." For a moment, there was silence, broken only by the soft rustle of fabric and the faint whisper of wind through the broken windows. Then, slowly, the spirits began to materialize before him, their forms shimmering in the dim light. With a trembling hand, Marcus reached out to them, offering solace and understanding in place of the anger and resentment that had bound them to this world for so long. And as he spoke, he felt a sense of peace wash over him, a knowing that he had finally found his purpose in this haunted place. In the end, it was not through force or violence that Marcus conquered the ghosts of the Grand Oak Hotel, but through empathy and compassion. And as the spirits faded into the ether, their tormented souls finally at rest, Marcus knew that he had made a difference not just for himself, but for all those who had suffered within these walls. As he stepped out into the cool night air, Marcus felt a sense of liberation wash over him, a weight lifted from his shoulders that he hadn't even realized he'd been carrying. And though the memories of his harrowing experience would stay with him forever, he emerged from the Grand Oak Hotel forever changed, with a newfound belief in the existence of the supernatural and a haunting reminder of the horrors he had encountered within its walls. But amidst the darkness, there was also light, a glimmer of hope that even in the face of the unknown, there was always a chance for redemption. And as Marcus walked away from the Grand Oak Hotel, he knew that he would carry that hope with him wherever he went, a guiding beacon in the darkest of nights.